came down 2 days ago in your own parliament, where we, the Globe people of parliamentarians, have produced a report to show there are 30 countries today that are producing parliamentarians, not the government, are producing legislation in their own parliament to show how they can set that legislative framework. That is going to be launched this afternoon. So I suggest you have a look at some of those ideas of what you can do. But what we try to do in the Council of Europe is to emphasise this in our resolution here that we've sent to the IPU. Mr. Alan Meale is the chairman of the committee in our Parliament, in our Assembly that produced that. I'm the rapporteur. And what I want to use my few moments here today is to impress on the delegates here, particularly about what is happening about the Kyoto Protocol. It is slowly and desperately being strangled, particularly by rich countries who do not want to see the Kyoto Protocol, led particularly by America. America never ever wanted the protocol. She didn't in 1997, and we had to say, okay, go away, but you will not stop us ratifying the Kyoto. And now we've heard Mr. Todd Stern, who said at Copenhagen, those that was there, he said that the issue of climate change and the issue of greenhouse gas emissions is not a moral issue, it's a mathematical one. No, it's a moral issue because more than 2/3 of the world are living on less than $2 a day. That is the real problem for us. And it's the rich countries getting together. And I belong to one of those rich countries, but I'm proud to say that the European Union is fighting to retain the protocol and the Kyoto. But there are countries led by America. Mr. Kelly, I think his name was the environment minister who said here at Durban, he said it was a mistake for Canada to assign the Kyoto Protocol. What I find most offensive about that is two of the richest countries in the world actually saying that you shouldn't have a protocol that is trying to redistribute the wealth, the resources, reduction of poverty, and now want to see the end of it. And what we've got to watch here quite clearly, we've got to watch that here in Durban, these voices do not become stronger. And our problem is here that we have so many difficult negotiations. We have heard about them today. The money one is a very important one. And yet America has recently said they don't know whether they can contribute to that green fund. Without the money, we will not advance very far. Make no mistake about that. We've heard some of the difficulties. Yes, do the local ones, but there is the climate change that needs to be achieved. And when I see many of the richer countries, the 10 richest in the world control 60% of the wealth. And some of those, like Canada and America, Mr. Todd tells us it's also including Russia, possibly Japan, Australia. He names a whole range of countries that may not support an agreement for a second Kyoto formula. I know the difficulties of that, but I don't think he's right about that. Now that my discussions with these countries lead me to believe they necessarily support that position. But what we've got to do here is make sure that international framework, the Kyoto framework, is retained. I don't believe for a second you can do the negotiations by the end of 2012. It's only 12 months away. And what I fear now, there will be those who are already beginning to say, well, it's a difficult economic situation. We can't make the contributions to the 100 billion that was promised at Cancun, at Copenhagen, and saying they can't afford it. What I fear they might do is actually say, right, let Kyoto formula wither on the vine. Just let it fall on 2012. We in the Council of Europe, in our document we have produced, which we sent to the IPU for the resolution, had this idea, stop the clock, save our planet. What we need to do, it's an old European thing. When we used to negotiate for the membership of the European Union, and when the negotiations weren't completed, we stopped the clock, and we continued to negotiate until we found out an agreement. And I hope here at Durban, the least we can do is to make clear, stop the clock, continue after 2012, but keep the essential principles of the Kyoto framework, which we decided in 1997 at Kyoto should still be the values, the principles, the dedication to reducing the poverty, social justice. Why? Because it's a human right. We're talking about the majority in this world. We're talking about redistributing that money to bring prosperity. And above all, what affects say we achieved all our Kyoto targets and double the amount of cuts in the gases. But what offends me most of all is that most of these rich countries grew rich by poisoning the carbon, poisoning the world, and tell us now the money we gain from developing our economy cannot be used to bring the millions, billions of others back into enjoying the prosperity that we enjoy today by the industrial growth that had the consequences of poisoning our own environment. That's the challenge today. And I say to parliamentarians in conclusion, you know, governments get affected by the interest parties on them. We saw it at Kyoto. Coal, steel, cars. They don't want to give up any of the wealth. The job of the people, of the parliaments, of the people like you and I. Our job is to say to governments, don't do this dirty deal. Make sure that those vital principles about social justice and poverty, about the millions in this world who look to us, the parliamentarians, to make the changes, to give them a hope, to enjoy the prosperity that many of us in the rich countries enjoy today. It's in our hands. The problem isn't that the science is now clear for us. The problem is political will. That's our job as parliamentarians. Make sure the political will is forced upon our governments to make sure that this deal to get rid of Kyoto and its values doesn't come about. It's really in our hands. Durban is as important as Kyoto for establishing and fighting for those principles. That's what makes us parliamentarians. We are the representatives of the people. Make sure our voice is heard clearly at Durban, that we'll not tolerate some quick deal that finishes off the hope for the world of a global solution about global values. Thank you.